Live from New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show. Today, Wendy and her Hot Talk panel tackle the latest headlines and find out this year's hottest holiday gifts for mom. Plus, Wendy's got all the latest juicy hot topics. Now, here's Wendy.
For moms. Plus, we're going to play a very special Verizon holiday edition of Pop Quiz. But up next, everybody, our Hot Talk panel is here to break down the week's biggest stories. So grab a snack and come right back. Okay, welcome back. It's time to discuss this week's hottest topics in our latest edition of Hot Talk. Joining me today from Cubby and Carolina in the Morning on KTU here in New York. Say hello to Carolina Bermudez. Hey, Carolina. Good to see you again. You lost good baby weight.
I did. I've been putting in the work.
Yes, and also our relationship expert, Siggy Flicker. And from CNN Tonight, whose special The Cosby Show, A Legend Under Fire, airs Monday nights at 9 o'clock. Give it up for Don Lemon.
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. Of course, the biggest story of the week seems to be the grand jury's shocking decision not to indict the police officer who choke-held Eric Gardner and contributed to his death. The decision sparked protests in New York and all around the country. Don, what are your thoughts?
It was actually tough to come in today, Wendy, because I watched the entire thing, and it's heavy for your show, I'm sorry, but this is a heavy subject. I watched the entire video before I came in, and it just makes me want to cry every time I look at it, and every time I think about the widow. How much more do you need to indict someone, or at least to have it go in front of a jury, a trial, so that it can be transparent? That's what we need in this case, transparency.
You know, he said, I can't breathe, like 12 times.
11 times. I can't breathe.
He said, I can't breathe 11 times. We actually saw a man get murdered on camera.
Right.
I mean, what more do we need? We had a video of all this going down. We had a video of a man saying, it's you again? What do you want from me? Why are you always bothering me? Leave me alone. I didn't even do anything. And then you have them taking him down and choking him where he's saying, I can't breathe, and then he has a seizure. Like, what more evidence do you need? It's on a video. What more?
You see them. It takes, and he's a bit, where's he going to go? He's a big man. He's not going to go anywhere. And they know him because he's been arrested there before. And I'm not making excuses for anything, but what's he going to do? He's selling loose cigarettes, right?
Exactly. It's a petty crime.
It's like the lowest crime that you can commit. Why not just write the man a citation and move on?
Yeah, I feel like you can't talk about this without injecting race. But the bigger picture is you can't talk about this without seeing that this is a racial issue, but it's also not a racial issue. It's like the cops against us out here.
I heard you say that yesterday, and I said a similar thing, and I got a lot of flack for it because people don't understand the nuance. When I'm saying, of course, this is about race, but if you take race out of this for a moment, if the person on the ground was pink...
If the person on the ground was a big 400-pound, 6'5" white guy...
There you go. It's excessive.
The cops were still excessive, and they would have been intimidated by his size.
Right.
If he was a little guy who's white, but with tattoos every place, skinhead style, they would have been threatened by that.
Right.
So at
I think from a human perspective, I think a lot of people are looking at this as cops against us, but as a human being, you see a person in distress, and how can you not help them? I think that's what's profoundly disturbing about this.
You can't see that, you're not human. And the thing is, though, Wendy, and this is tough for you. I see that because you have a son
who's
who
14.
lives in this area.
Yes.
And they have to, the mayor
and a
said,
husband.
The mayor in the press conference said, and the mayor, our mayor, white, Bill de Blasio, he's a black wife, and he has 2 black children. He mentioned his son, Dante. And he said parents all over this city worry about the safety of their kids, not just from crime in their neighborhood, but from the people who they're supposed to have trust in. And so, for a parent I can't imagine how do you talk to your son about that?
Well, what we say, and then Siggy, I'm going to come to you. What we say to our son is, you can't win against the cops.
Good.
So when they stop you, you take your hood down, your hands out of your pockets, you call them sir or ma'am, and that's that, no matter whether you were in the right or in the wrong.
Absolutely.
And for
you
me,
let them deal with Mr. and Mrs. Hunter after it's taken care
of. And for
of.
me, I know, whenever I don't get stopped by cops a lot, but when the cops come up behind me with the flashers, I put both hands on 10 and 2. I don't even move from my wallet or registration until the cop is at the window. And then I say, can I put the window down? Like, hi, officer, what did I do? And, you can't win.
You have to show respect, and you have to hold back and bite your tongue.
It doesn't mean it's right.
Doesn't mean it's right.
Doesn't mean it's right.
But I say this because, and you say it because, considering what's happening, I want people to stay alive. It doesn't mean that you're surrendering or you're giving up your manhood or your womanhood. I want you to stay alive.
So now after the Ferguson thing, we all want cops to wear these cameras on them, although with what happened to Eric Gardner, we saw the death, and still the cop got off.
Yeah, I asked the police commissioner that right after the news broke, and he said, well, yeah, I think body cameras would help. They're going to implement that in New York City because it gives different angles, but I mean, we saw.
Right, but there has to be a checks and balance system here, and I think that that's what we're lacking. And if we start seeing it, then it's going to be even more evident to people.
Imagine what the cops would have said if we hadn't seen that footage.
Exactly. What would their version have been?
Right.
So the video speaks for itself.
Yeah. But here's the problem. Everyone saw it, but you have the police department investigating the police department. You have the prosecutor in the town that the police department is in investigating that. It needs to be more transparent. It should be taken out of the place where it happened or away from the police department, have an independent investigation. What this lacks the most is transparency and obviously better training.
Or, like I was saying, you said better training. I was saying this the other day, after the Michael Brown case, I think that cops need to be paid more money, and I think that it should be more required. There should be more required of them to be cops. We don't need to make a cop be the last thing that you do before you just want to do nothing, like oftentimes happens. Cops need to go to a 4-year university. They need to major in criminal justice. Then they need to go to 2 years of police academy or 3, just like a lawyer goes to law school afterwards and a doctor goes to...
Someone said to me, Wendy, it's a hard...
And then they need more money. They need more money.
Someone said it's a hard job that's easy to get. And it shouldn't be a hard job that's easy to get.
Exactly. Right. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next story. Okay, some public school districts in our country are thinking about dividing boys and girls in separate schools. They think that will improve academic performance. Educators disagree about whether the strategy works. Siggy, you have children.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think that it would help my children immensely.
Oh,
they would, wait a second, they would start getting A's. I have a 12-year-old that's boy crazy, a 15-year-old that's girl crazy.
The apple doesn't fall far.
My kids are, I was gonna say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They have ADD. They sit in front of the teacher. And my daughter comes home, she says, P.O.P., Mama, I love you. I got in trouble today. Why? Because she can't help but turn around because Tommy's tapping her on the shoulder.
But he's so cute.
And he's so adorable.
Where'd she get that from?
Carolina, what do you say?
This is a huge disservice to our children. I think we're grasping at straws here with a program like this. There are so many countries. We're number 17 out of the developed countries. We're falling so far behind in education. Go to a country that is successful, follow that model, and then let's try to implement that in schools instead of grasping.
So if I can just say this. I went to a Catholic school, right? And so that's
all boys?
No, it wasn't all boys, thank goodness.
Oh.
Because, anyway. So I went to Catholic
had a field day.
I was young. Wendy, you are so inappropriate. That's why I love you. You say it like you mean it. We'll talk offline.
But go ahead.
So I think it's a slippery slope to segregation.
Yeah.
And I think that education is not just about, the reading, writing, arithmetic. It's about human interaction, interpersonal relationships. You're going to have to deal with all kinds of people
in the world,
so you may as well start as young as possible.
And also, I think that it's very important that kids learn how to prioritize things in their life, and I don't think a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, or 6 years old is too early. I think learning how to prioritize your schoolwork from the boys, from, you know, what you're going to eat at lunch is very important. And I would hate to go to an all-girls school.
It would
Well,
take the
I
fun.
know. Well,
It would
you
take
and
the
Siggy, I
fun.
mean, come on.
It would take the fun out of going to school.
Exactly.
And watch, kids deserve to have fun too in school too.
Did
And
you
they
go
love
to
it.
Catholic school?
No.
Well, you could have got. You know, you said you liked the little pleated kilt
I
skirt.
like to
or whatever.
play the part. I don't
Okay.
really want to. I don't really want to wear the uniform and be just with some girls all day.
All right, Britt, in
I'm
that
I'm
video.
just
what was
saying.
that?
All right, so we're going to move along. We all like to go out to eat, but what would you say about restaurants who want people to honor their reservations? Some fine dining restaurants are using a system where patrons would be required to pay for their meal in advance and the money is non-refundable.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Never.
What if you get a flat tire?
Never.
Carolina, what do you say?
Well, see, I was a struggling waitress in LA for a long time, so I can understand where the restaurants are coming from. You're a waiter, you want it, you survive on tips. But to me, personally, this is like a rich white people problem because I don't go to restaurants.
Yeah.
Plus, in the hospitality industry, the customer's always right. You're going to charge me for filet mignon and chops and pork chops that I've never had?
Right.
I will dispute those charges. I will never be paying for that. You're not going to get me.
The restaurants
no
that
one
are
is going to
proposing
tell
are like
me.
the most expensive in the country per se, in Atlanta and Chicago per se, in New
Right.
York. You know how much a meal? It's $375 for a price fix. Come on. People are waiting in line to get in those restaurants anyways. It's a racket.
I don't have
do
to
it.
wait in line at my local mom and pop restaurant,
Right.
like
Or
down
your
the
own
street,
kitchen.
where I can wear my Uggs, you know.
I think that if a restaurant were to do something like this would be a restaurant I wouldn't even think about patronizing.
Right.
Anyway, thank you all for being here. Such spicy talk.
Love the studio.
Thank you. Happy holiday. For more information about my panelists, go to wendyshow.com, everybody. Up next, Ask Wendy.